when I'm on a stool and I don't want to get down to shift over, so I'll just go.
Jump, sucker. Quite a revelation here on Conversations. Marcel Williams, Showtime himself, the champ. You're shy.
Yeah.
They're all cheering back there, Marcel. You just.
I mean, O'Neal's mom calls me a chicken nugget now. So.
Do accents. Don't do face paint.
Jump, sucker.
Yeah.
Folks, Andrew here, Go Pro Wrestling, welcoming you to Conversations. We've got one of the first female operators on the independent scene of Go Pro Wrestling, welcoming her debut here, Sam.
Hello.
And none other than the guest of honor here, Marcel Williams. It's showtime, folks.
It's showtime. Showtime at GoPro.
Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now, where did you get started in the wrestling business?
Got started in 2007 in Bridgeport. Paul Roma had a school before Paradise Alley. It was a pro wrestling I think it was Institute. And I signed up in 2000. Let's start from the beginning. I lost my job at the time. So I always wanted to do wrestling since I was in high school. Do the pro wrestling. I checked schools that was way in Jersey. So when you're young, you're like, okay, I'm going to get the jersey from Connecticut, you know. But later on, when I started being like 21, I lost my job. So I was like, oh, what can I do? So I looked, I found a school, and it was right down the street. I lived in Bridgeport, so it was right down the street. So when I signed up for it, we did drills. You know how they introduce you to have to do drills, and do squats, and just have you run the ropes just to try you out. And Roma came to me at the end of the tryout and was like, you sure you want to do this? If you want to do this, come later on the week, and this is the payment, and this is how you could start. So I started it, and from Bridgeport on to Paradise Alley, we get to that soon, but it was hard, you know, the Hindu squats and running the ropes. It's called paying dues, and I paid those dues, and I survived, you know, going bumping all over the place with Brian Anthony and Chris Battle at the time, and then you had Lucas Sharp down there, and the who's who in New England, and it was just hard work.
You didn't just survive, Marcel. You thrived. I mean, let's talk about, like, from your humble beginnings, before we get to now being the champ and, you know, everybody now knowing, you know, who Marcel Williams is. Yeah. Let's talk about, like, your early times in professional wrestling. Like, you mentioned Paul Roma. Was he an influential person on your career early on?
Bret Hart was, believe it or not. I seen Paul Roma, like, throughout the years with the Power and Glory tag team, which was real underrated. I mean, there was a good tag team, but, you know, I felt there was more with him. They should have used him more. But then he went on to be a horseman. I thought that was good at the time. I mean, when you're young, you don't understand. But when you get older, you're like, okay, well, you know, they want to criticize him saying he was not the right horseman. Or I thought he was good because he had the body and he had the talent. It didn't work out, but, oh, well, he had, you know, he worked with Pretty Wonderful, the team of Pretty Wonderful with Paul Orndorff, and then they moved on up that way. So even though he fell through the Four Horsemen and people want to talk about that, he still excelled doing a Pretty Wonderful tag team. And I don't think people talk about that more often.
I agree with you.
You know, I mean,
that was just his WCW run, Marcel. I mean, you talk about his longevity in WWE with
yeah.
the Young Stallions, and then you know.
And even they try to say he failed with the Young Stallions, but the thing is, he bounced back and did the Power and Glory tag team. You know, the Young Stallions didn't work out. I mean, obviously, you go look at the shoot interview. He got shoot interviews all over the place. He talks about, you know, Jim Powers, but that didn't work out. He still stayed there, and the Power and Glory thing, he made that work. You know, I mean, he says it didn't work because it wasn't Vince's creation. I do believe that to certain aspects, because whatever is not his creation, we have seen what went down in WWE or / WWF a long time ago. But Roma, I feel he's an underrated talent that should have made it somewhere. But, you know, it's just like the independents. It's like a whole dozen of wrestlers and only one can make it. You know, I mean, you got people that are not talented that make it, and then you got people, probably like 2 people that's talented that make it. So he just had the short end of the stick in his career. But to me, I mean, right now, he's a mentor to me because he taught me a lot psychology-wise and longevity in the business. Instead of going in there doing all this extra stuff of flying and breaking your neck, or, you know, you in front of 10 people and you sit here and fly outside and break a leg. I don't do that. It's more of psychology where I rather give the 10 people their money's worth of telling a story instead of going out to killing myself. And I respect them a lot for teaching me that.
What is the one thing, and you know, we know Paul loves to yell. What
Yes.
is the one thing that sticks out in your head that he told you that you won't forget?
Mostly, he really didn't scream at me that much. He screamed at other students.
Like what? What's a pet peeve of Paul Roma's?
Pet peeves, I mean, he wants you to learn the psychology. I mean, he don't want you going in there and like just going and jumping all off the ropes, and he wants you to learn the headlock and what you're going to do next. He wants you to do headlock tackle, drop down. Okay, what you going to do next? And you be like, well, I'm going to go up top. Why are you going up top? What are you doing it for? You know, he'll stop you, and that's what he beat us in the head with. Like, you can't sit here and just do anything you want in the ring.
And he actually cares. He's not just there to take your money and say, hey, good luck.
That's what I'm saying. Most trainers that I heard about, they just want to take your money and just be like, oh, yeah, go in here and do bumps. And you can go fly around, and then you graduated. We go put you in the show. No, he waited. Like, my first match was in 07. So when I started school, he didn't have me. That was a whole year. Like, I could have did 6 months, and he could have just threw me out there. But he waited a year to sit here and say, okay, you're ready. You can go out here and have a match within 6 months, and then I go out there and hurt myself or hurt somebody else. He waited until he see me ready to have a full match by myself, whether the same match or a different match. Long as he seen me that I could control the situation in the match, he taught me that instead of just throwing me out there.
When you started early on, who were some of your favorite opponents that you liked working with, chemistry-wise?
Dan the Man was on. I know y'all know Dan the Man. Dan the Man. I worked with him. I had a nice rivalry.
He stole my watch. That's
Did he steal your watch?
Oh yeah.
What?
He stole my watch numerous times.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know, he
Better not get him in trouble with that one.
Yeah. Him and Team Suzanne, they took my watch. They bullied me.
Well, you know I'm part of Team Suzanne, so I'm trying to say I stole
No, it wasn't you. Okay. That was him, Kenny Bangle, and Mr. Dillinger, the diligent one.
Oh man, but Dan the Man was a good one. Lucas Sharp, I mean, he's retired right now. I think I haven't seen him in a while. Brian Anthony, I had a few good matches with him. That was in the beginning stages. I had a good match with Bobby Ocean back in the day. But when we get to it soon, I took a break. You know, I mean, it was 07 to like 10. I took a break where you get tired of business after a while. You know, you think that you're just there because there's nothing left. There's no opportunities. You know, nobody's watching you, and maybe nobody cares because you're within that whole dozen of talent that do the same thing. At the time, there wasn't a lot of people flying back in like 2010 and 2009, 2008. Nobody wasn't flying or diving or going crazy and trying to do all these spot fests. It was more psychology, so everybody was doing the same. So now it's to the point now where I'm different now. I don't sit here and just go out there and fly all over the place and do a 450 and all that stuff. It's different, you know. I just like to be different. I don't like to sit here and go out and do the same exact thing that 5 matches done.
Well, that's why. I mean, we'll jump around.
We'll jump around, yeah.
I'm, you know, PAPW. You really rose to the top. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember at the beginning, in January earlier this year, 2018.
Yes.
Took the title from Richard Holliday.
Yes.
You took the title off him. I mean, he had one of the longest reigns in company history. I believe it was, 300 or was it 400 some odd days consecutively that he was champ, and then you just came right in, cashed in, and took his title.
Oh, by the way, before you sit there and start that, how many days I started at? If you look at the early promos in PAPW, when I had the IC title, I started at. So just to let you know, I started at. But yeah, Richard Holliday, as y'all seen, Richard Holliday is moving throughout the independents. As they call it, indie darlings. I mean, he's starting to be one of them now.
Is he one of the most marketable men?
To me, he's not. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, people like what they like. They got their opinion. I mean, some people don't think I'm Showtime. So, I mean, I'm Showtime, whether you like it or not. But
you carry yourself like Showtime.
I appreciate that.
I give you props.
I appreciate that.
But let's go back to Holliday for a second. I mean, you guys have great chemistry in the ring, and you had a great match, but it doesn't seem like you guys get along outside the ring. Is that a fair assessment?
It's not that. We got two different opinions. The thing is, I think about the other things of who sells, who doesn't, give other people chances when other people had that chance. He wants to have people that had that chance already to get ahead of the people that's trying to get that chance. And me and him see differently behind the scenes. To me, he's a good guy. I mean, I don't got no beef with him. Me and him never had no fights or anything like that, but it's just the thing but it's just, me and him see two different opinions about the business. Maybe he see that, you know, a wrestler has a body and, you know, that should be a guy that should be marketable. And I think that doesn't matter these days.
As far as his in-ring talent, do you feel like that he has the talent?
He has the gimmick that people could get over with, the marketable. I mean, they love it, the consumers. You know, I mean, what more can I say about that gimmick? It's working for him. It's working more than other people that I've seen on the roster, like, you know, Zachariah Gibbs or Sergeant Murray or other people in the independents. He's been in business for 2 years. I've been there for 11. So it's working somehow. You know, I mean, I don't got a problem with that. I always want every wrestler to succeed anyway because it's open for everybody to succeed. And he just gives a hope for other wrestlers within our school, Paradise Alley, that we could go and move up the ranks also, as in doing MLW or NXT or, you know, anything like that.
What did it mean to you to become the PAPW champion?
It meant a lot. You wouldn't think that I'd be a heavyweight champion anywhere or any top tier champion in any promotion, you know. I worked hard to get there. It just, when you say you never be a world champion, but there's a reason why you do wrestling in general. If you don't want to be in the business to be a world champion, or you just want to be a guy just to be there, that's not true. I wanted to be a world champion, whether it was any promotion or not. But I never thought I'd be getting there because I had a few like negatives about myself. You know, my body's not ripped. I don't got the right height to be that guy. But I always go out there and get my 100%.
We're in a different time now. It's not the age of like 7 feet tall
so
guys
right.
that can't work. I mean,
yeah.
Not to knock anybody in particular, you know, I'm just saying. But I mean, it's just, it's a different time now. AJ Styles, how big is he? Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You know, these guys can go. These guys can work.
The time has evolved, and that gives me hope. You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, like when I started, that's what they was looking for. Yeah. They was looking for bodies. They was looking for people that was under 25 years old. You know, now they got people that's AJ Styles like 40. Samoa Joe's almost 40. You got half of the people of the Undisputed Era almost near 40. And those guys can go still. So it gives hope to people like me that's up in age. I'm not 40, I'm just saying. But, you know, I'm almost there, probably a few more years. But at the end of the day, it gives me hope because back in the day, they had limitations. And some of those people that had hope or didn't think they were going to make it, they didn't have that hope. They just say, oh, I'm just doing this as long as I can. But now there's hope now. Now I could go out here and be like, okay, well, let me go to these other promotions. Maybe somebody will see me, want to have me do a behind-the-scenes segment for WWE or go do a match at NXT or something or MLW. So there's hope for workers out there.
Backtracking a little bit, Bret the Hitman Hart, you mentioned he was influential on you loving wrestling. Like, when did you start your early memories of watching wrestling, and is that what propelled you after, like you mentioned, after you lost your job to start in the professional wrestling field?
Yeah, my first, God bless him, my grandfather, he passed away last year. He started me off with wrestling. He gave me unlimited watching wrestling on Saturdays, watching Wrestling Challenge or Primetime Wrestling on Mondays before Raw even was a thing. And my first event was WrestleMania 3. And after watching that at the Silver Dome, all those fans, and then Hogan and Andre and Macho Man and Steamboat, that changed my life. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. What is this? You know, like they flying all over the place. This is
We're from pretty much the same age group.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing from there? Like for me, it was Steamboat and Savage. I mean, everybody talks about. I remember Hogan slamming Andre, but the Steamboat and Savage, actually watching it and being pulled as a fan through the emotions of a match, like from back and forth, and the whole history with the bell and hitting him in the throat. What was your,
between the time of '87 to let's just say 93. I was a Hogan fan, as like everybody else. You know, they like the show of it. Like, oh, this Hogan, he comes in there, he knocks a big guy down, and then he start posing at the end. I love that stuff when I was younger. But when you get older, you look at the performance aspect of it, and then when I got older and started watching WrestleMania 3 more, I was like, oh, that Steamboat and Savage match was good. Like they went for 20 minutes and it was a clinic. So you get older and then you look at, the Bret Hart and Owen Harts, and then you go to the NWA and you like Flair and Steamboat, and then you like Flair and Sting. He's putting in the work, keeping the title, winning the title 9 to 10 times at the time. But when you get older, you start realizing the workhorses. And that's why when I got older, I started liking Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Flair and all the workhorses.
Now, you grew up in New Haven, right? Is that?
No, I grew up in Bridgeport.
Oh, Bridgeport.
Yeah.
In Bridgeport, growing up when you were in school, were a lot of people in your classes, they were wrestling fans, or what was that environment like?
Well, when I was at school, it was around the time of Monday Night Wars, and who else wasn't talking about wrestling on Monday, on Tuesday morning? You go in there and be like, oh, did you see what Hollywood Hogan did, or what NWO did, or what Stone Cold did? He had a bear truck. You seen that? Tuesday morning was always we sit outside and talk about what happened.
You had the remote. What were you watching more, Raw?
Oh, I was more of a WCW fan.
Okay.
I hate to be that guy, but I was a WCW fan.
There was a lot of them.
But I like WCW because they made it as a sport instead of WWE as sport and entertainment. I like the way you always had it where it wasn't script with WCW. Yeah, they had mess ups like the Chamber of Horrors and Shockmaster falling through the wall.
Well, WWE also had Doink the Clown and all the
Exactly.
gimmicks. But we're talking about the era of 97, 98 in the Monday Night War, so you got to give both companies a pass.
Yeah, you got to give them a pass. So when it was hot at the time, I was a WCW fan. I loved that NWO stuff, and Goldberg had his run, and the Sting and Hogan stuff. Even though, Starrcade 97 messed up everything, but we'll talk about that probably.
I love WCW also, but what killed it for me was
the finger poke of doom.
That's what killed it for me. That's what killed it for me.
You think so?
For me, I think that's, and I think for a lot of other fans, I don't know other people their time period, but for me, that's when I stopped watching Nitro.
I think it was done after the Radicals came to WWE.
That was a year later.
When the Radicals came, that was it. Yeah. It was because they was the backbone,
right,
and they've been there so long. They had a story where they was there so long, and when Chris Benoit won that title, and then he went to the E, it was okay, well, who WCW got now? They don't got nobody. You lost Jericho, you lost the Big Show early on in '99, and now who do you got? You got to make new stars now. The only person you had was Goldberg, and then all the people like Hogan and Flair. But, WCW had its runs where they had a run. And now, I didn't even didn't realize it, where Impact Wrestling been running longer than WCW. But, that's the business. I miss WCW. That was the hottest period of wrestling, period, because there was competition for everybody. And then you had workers that had more jobs that could go here if it didn't work out for the WWE. But, now, before we fast forward to the future, now we got Impact Wrestling, we got MLW, we got NXT, we got all these other promotions now. Now is a boom period. You got New Japan is hot now, so it's
they sold out the Garden.
They sold out the Garden. Who will say that they sold out the Garden and go into WWE's home?
That's crazy.
It's a lot.
We had All In already. I mean, shout out to Cody Rhodes, Young Bucks. What a hell of a show they put on. I mean, you're talking about a time period right now. Like, this is a boom period. It's not just for WWE, because WWE the last decade or so has been monopolizing professionally. Would you?
I would say that, yes. Ever since March of 2001, it's been just WWE. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, you had TNA. They had the ups and downs, and sometimes people say they're just their downs, which is now Impact Wrestling, which they starting to rise up now. But TNA, and it just, they had a hot period where they could have been competition. And just business.
We almost had a Monday Night Wars 2.0. It
I don't count that, though. I'm sorry.
That one night when they had Hogan debut and they had Bret Hart come back after a 12-year absence, it was like, just for one night, I was like, man, I'm flipping channels back and forth. Like,
yeah, it takes you back.
Yeah, the nostalgia came back.
Yeah, but
I have a question.
Good.
Okay. What is your all-time favorite wrestling moment that you ever saw?
Wrestling moment? That's a lot of.
It could be with WCW.
I liked it, Goldberg at the Georgia Dome. I thought that was cool.
July 6, 1998.
Yes, I thought that was cool because
I was not born yet.
Well,
it makes us both look old, right?
Jesus.
Okay, Sam, so this is what happened, Sam. Goldberg wrestled twice that night. He went through Scott Hall. The story was to only get to Hogan, he had to beat Scott Hall, which he did in the first hour. Then in the third hour, he got to main event Hogan, and he beat him.
Yep.
Amazing.
And then Karl Malone, actually, NBA player, probably way before your time.
Probably. I'm 26.
He was there with Diamond Dallas Page at the end, but Goldberg, it was like a big night because Goldberg is from Atlanta.
Okay.
And he won the title, and it was like he had both belts, the United States title and the World Heavyweight title.
That is pretty dope.
So
that would be my favorite moment as a wrestler. That would be the greatest night of my life.
Yeah.
And he said that numerous times. That was one of his big. But actually, his next biggest moment, Goldberg, not the sidetrack, the biggest moment after that was when his son watched him wrestle.
Yep.
Just a year ago or 2 years ago with Brock Lesnar. So
Which was a great comeback.
Yeah.
That was a great comeback.
Marcel, you watch WWE?
Yes, I do.
What are some of the things you like, dislike, and do you see yourself there?
I see myself there. What I like AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, all them starting to rise up.
Name three guys in there that you watch and you could say, I could have a really good match with them.
AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Samoa Joe.
I would love to see that with Samoa.
May I ask why for those three?
Because I've seen a lot of performance from them from both TNA and here, and even NXT with Samoa Joe. I feel like between 10 to 15 minutes, I could have a wrestling clinic with him, storytelling. Maybe back in the day when he was in TNA where he was flying all over the place, I still could have had it. But now, since they matured, I feel like the match will be real entertaining and storytelling. I remember watching Shawn Michaels on a Table for Three, and he was he could see himself wrestling like Samoa Joe or AJ Styles, but he would rather wrestle like somebody like Samoa Joe because he could do a lot with him. So Samoa Joe, he's real different, but you could do a lot with him storytelling wise. So those are my three favorite.
Those are good answers.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
What is holding
the keeper?
Off camera, we were talking a little bit about what I enjoy about you. This is what I said, and I'll say it right now. Mm-hmm. Before shows, you would not really interact a lot with fans, or maybe you do, but you said that you don't really like to. But I agree. I don't think you should.
Yeah.
And it's not because to sound like fans should, they pay their money to see you wrestle. Mm-hmm. They don't they shouldn't pay to see you interacting with them for a second match when you're the main event.
Well, I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag right now.
Okay.
The only reason I don't come out before the shows, yes, it's the old school mentality, but I am shy, actually, believe it or not. I'm shy. I don't like
Showtime?
Showtime is shy, so you don't want to come out there and in the mission is I'm like, I don't want to go out there yet. So by bell time, I get myself organized and get that shyness out, and then that's when I go out and be ready.
We'll break that shyness out later on.
Yeah, I know y'all. But yeah,
That
it just
good surprise.
yeah, it just shy, man. It just that's how it is. I try to break it. It took me to my first match. I almost like crapped myself, like for real. Like that was the first match, and you're like in this garage with like 25 people. And you're like, dang, 25 people. I gotta go out here and do this thing that I've been doing without nobody here. So it's kind of like it took me a while.
Are you more like, are you more shy to cut a promo or wrestling? Because for me, when I see you wrestle, you're holding people in the palm of your hands. I mean, you're wrestling in the casino show we had, what I don't know what that was, the end of
All or
last
nothing.
year. I mean,
Yeah.
you it didn't seem like you had any timidness or shyness whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. It takes a while. It's just, you got to get, and the workers may know, I call them workers, you know, you get to that point where you got to be that second person. You know, it took me a while to get to that second person because it's like, okay, it's me, who I am on a daily basis outside of wrestling. But how can I get to here where I'm going in front of, whether it's 300 or 150 or 500 people, how can I get that shyness out? So I try to like talk to myself and be like, okay, well, you know, I gotta go out here and do this. Let me, you know, get myself ready, hype myself up. But it's hard, you know. I think like 2 shows ago, I went out doing an intermission and started talking with fans. It's hard. It's like, you know, you think these guys don't like you, you're already sitting there having them boo you. And they already want to kill you because you're beating up their favorite guy.
Why don't you just call him a chump sucker and then just
I will
walk
call
right
them
off?
that, but I don't want to get like attacked during intermission, you know?
Oh,
So,
no.
I mean,
Fred Blassie had acid thrown on his car once. You got to get that heat.
listen, if I get acid thrown on my car, I'm going to be mad.
That's old school.
Nah, it's not, I don't like that old school right there.
Whoever fans did that to Fred Blassie, that wasn't old school. That was stupidity.
I ain't
You
trying
could have
to
killed
get-
the guy.
Listen, I ain't trying to get stabbed, you know?
But quite a revelation
think
here on
anyone's trying to-
Conversations. Marcel Williams, Showtime himself, the champ. He's shy.
Yeah, that I let the cat out there. I'm shy. So if you start talking to me during intermission, I'll talk back. I just be like, I just gotta get the nerves out there. But that's how it is. That's why you don't see me. But I do like that old school mentality where I want to go out there when the match start, so it makes it special. Because like you said earlier, people pay to see me or pay to see the next guy to go at it in the ring, and then I've been sitting there chilling with you having chips or some water with you, sitting there talking about what happened yesterday. You know, I'd rather go in the back, chill out, give you what you paid for because you paid to see me, and then after the show, if you want to talk to me, that's fine. I'm open to it. But I don't want it to be where, oh, I could chill and sit here and on the couch and just talk to this guy and watch wrestling with him. Yeah, we could do that later on, but you paid to see me, so let me go and make sure you get your money's worth, whether it's 5 or 20, 25. You know, I just want to make sure you get your money's worth when I come out on special to you to come out here and perform in front of you.
Like, for me, like, we're old school, we're from, like, the same era. So I agree that it should be special. Like, when you come out, they should perceive you as a top tier, like, of a guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm a top tier sometimes because I have that habit in my mind where I'm always critiquing myself all the time. I'm critiquing myself all the time. So when I sit here and you trying to, I don't think I'm like have a big head where I'm trying to sit
No,
there
I
in the
seem
back.
like you seem like
I
you're
try
humble.
to make it special.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? I try to make it special so when I go out there, you're like, okay, I didn't see this guy the whole show. Let me see what he has. I've been looking forward to this. You know, I don't sit there and try to be disrespectful to the fans or anything like that. You know.
I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah.
There's a difference. There's a line between cocky and confident.
Yeah.
You're confident. You're not cocky at all.
Yeah,
I'll say
yeah.
that right now.
Yeah.
People know.
Thank
So, I mean, the other thing I wanted to mention, I want to backtrack, was PAPW. When did you get your start there? And is that because you said earlier you were training with Paul Roma under a different company?
Yes, it was a Pro Wrestling Institute. It closed down, I think it was around 2007 when I started, and he took time off. He got married, and
You
so
took a break yourself in
I
the
took
middle,
a
right?
break. Yeah,
Why?
I took a break around 2010 to like 11. I'm bad with time sometimes with myself.
Why
I know
was there
every
a break
match.
in between?
Personal stuff.
Personal, okay.
You know, I had my daughter at the time,
Congrats.
And, you know, then stuff happen, you lose jobs or whatever, so you're like, okay, what can I do? You know, wrestling can't pay the bills. So I took time off. Then at the time, I wasn't even getting booked. And then we go backtrack when I started in 07. When I started in 07, if you look at my old footage, I wore khaki shorts and a t-shirt like any other wrestler has, where they not wearing no tights, no stuff where makes them to be a wrestler. I looked like the person that just came out of a Walmart or out of my house to go wrestle instead of looking like a wrestling athlete. So it took me a while until one promotion, which was UWD, Ultimate Wrestling Dynasty in Massachusetts at the time. He sat us all down. He was like, listen, he said, if you want to be a worker, you need to wear gear. He said, stop wearing the shorts, stop wearing the one-piece janitor's gear or whatever it is. Stop wearing that. If you want to be legit as a worker, be a worker. And I found that out later on, around like 2010. I started getting gear. I started getting a singlet and stuff. So I learned it later, and that's my biggest mistake. That one and taking time off for personal. Yeah, I know it was personal at the time, but I felt if I should have stayed in there more, I probably would have exceeded more than I would have been. And I ended up coming back around. I came back for a little bit. I changed the name because I had like 3 names. I had like.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah, it's like I had Park City Gangster, Mr. Williams.
Park City Gangster.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Williams.
Nowhere near gangster at all.
I presume you were not a hero or babyface.
No, listen, and I was babyface, believe it or not. Yeah,
So babyface with
a gangster name. Okay. So you know that didn't work. It did for a little bit, for a cup of coffee, but it didn't work. Then I came back and I said, okay, I want to change the Mr. Williams name. So then I did LJ Rebel. That was definitely for a cup of coffee, probably for a half a cup. So that didn't work out. So I ended up changing that. I came back for Mr. Williams when I came back to Paradise Alley, which we'll get to soon. But I found out Paul Roma had a school at Paradise Alley, and figured I'd go back because that's where I learned my craft from. So when I went back there back in 2000 and I'm bad with times. It was like 2016 or 15. I came back and I went in there for a little bit. You know, I just breathe, you know, getting blowed up like I haven't been here for a while. It was 2 years and got the itch. I was like, okay, let me come back in here and start doing this. And then you start doubting yourself, am I still good? Because now, before when I started, I was like 21. So now I'm like 31, I'm like 29. So it's like, you know, can I still do it? And to me, it's for the better because I matured more. As in, you see now, you said, we talked about it earlier, like the gear change. And
you learned to appreciate it more.
Yes, I appreciate it more with the fans and just marketing, like, no pun intended, marketable, but just, you know, the shirts and making your logo and just boosting yourself up. You know, it's just, I just didn't want to be that phase one again where I'm wearing those shorts and shirts
when
again.
I call someone a chump sucker, I think of you right away.
Yeah, that Park City Gangster with a chump sucker.
Question. What inspired your gimmick name?
Marcel Williams came from, well, I had the Mr. Williams, so I had this, the MW logo, which is right here. So I didn't want to change the logo because I liked the MW logo.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, what M? I can't use Mike. I can't use
What's wrong with Mike?
There's nothing wrong with Mike, but there's 1,000 mics. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. There's 1,000 mics. There's
Poor
1,000
Poor Mike.
marks, you know, not fan marks, but there's 1,000 name marks and all these other stuff.
He's a mark.
Oh, God. We all marks.
I remember.
But
this one time it was a mark.
I seen something different where it was Marcel, and then, like the wife said, she's like, oh, well, Marcel, that's a French name, which it is, but it's different. You know, you try to be different. So I was like, okay, well, Marcel Williams could work out. You know, I'm going to do Marcel.
If you're going to pick Marcel, you should start telling the fans, Napousse, Napoulet.
I should, once I learn
Call
that,
them Big Maguiers. You know what a Maguier is?
No.
Like a crook. Haitian fans out there, write and comment, tell us. We need to learn a little bit more Creole.
Listen, I'm willing to learn. But nah, it's just Marcel Williams had a click to it, and then I tried to figure out. First, I wanted to call myself the illest. The wife didn't like that. She said it sounded stupid, and I was like, yeah, it just sounds stupid. Yeah, it's the illest. I didn't want to use that. So back when I was young,
real quick, she's not listening. Did she beat you at all?
No, she won't beat me. You got the mic on for that, right?
My wife.
Oh Jesus, she beat you?
Yeah, all the time.
We may need to record that.
She beats me, and I have alopecia. Damn it.
Oh my God. He pulled out the alopecia card.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But in all seriousness, your wife, she keeps you grounded. She doesn't just tell you what everybody else wants you to hear, right?
no, she's honest with me. If she say that match sucks, that match sucks.
What's the number one? What's something that she told you that hit you hard, but you afterwards you said, hey, you know what? I agree. Give one example.
One example.
I know. It's
Believe it
hard.
or not, y'all, we talked about that earlier. You know she hates that chump sucker word.
The chump sucker?
She hates
I love it.
Listen, everybody
I
loves
don't
it.
know.
She's the only person that will love it.
Huh.
She says it's stupid.
I
But
agree with your wife. It does sound stupid.
Why, Sam?
she lost her spot at the table.
Sam?
Just that quick. It was like 10 minutes. I was on her side. Now she's against chump sucker. She's on the wife's side. I think this should be a two-man
They
crew
stick together, Marcel.
all the time. But
Listen, I'm not about to get
Don't worry, I got
hurt
you,
because
I got
I
you back.
agree with you.
there we go.
I don't want to get hurt because I agree with
Nah,
you. What's wrong?
I don't hurt the ladies, but I'm chump sucker. I like chump sucker. To me, chump sucker came from, and people like to ask where chump sucker came from. And believe it or not, I looked on the network. Stevie Ray said it first. So just
Stevie
to
Ray.
tell you,
Okay.
Pop Stevie Ray, he said it first. But I didn't learn it from him. I used to be at work and at the time, and I was like, I used to call this guy. I used to say he's a chump. I'm like, you're a chump. And he was like, I'm a chump. So he'd be like, oh, you're a chump sucker. So I said, really? Who makes that word up? Chump sucker? So when he said it to me, I was like, okay, chump sucker. And then I used to say, well, I took chump sucker from him and then went to another place. And I was like, I called him chump sucker. He's like, oh, you're a chump bucket. I was like, chump bucket? We're making up words as we go. So chump sucker, I felt clicked. And when I first used it, I thought it was stupid myself. I was like, okay, chump sucker kind of stupid. And then people started using it like, yo, chump sucker, that sounds funny. Like calling somebody chump sucker, what does that mean? Or you just chump and then there's a sucker. You call somebody chump, you a chump, you're a punk. And then the sucker, you're a sucker. Everybody knows a sucker, I'm going to get you sucker. So I put it together and, chump sucker been going up here since then. They want me to make a shirt, chump sucker.
You
These
should.
guys have been telling me to get it.
You
You should, Marcel.
You really should because, like, seeing that it's basically now your trademark
Yeah.
in your gimmick. If you get a T-shirt, it will sell really quick because people are fans of that word. So
Yeah.
they'll get the shirt like, ha!
It's coming.
sucker.
I'll buy it.
You'll buy it?
I'll
I'll
buy
give
it.
you a free one.
Word.
I give the
I love
GoPro.
free.
I give the GoPro crew a free one. I got y'all.
Nice.
I got you. Yeah.
Darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
Some fans here tonight.
I know my wife like, damn it, these guys, we're not coming back here ever again. But yeah, the chump sucker thing was, it just started clicking, and then, like I said, at the time I thought it was stupid, and it started clicking since then. So sooner or later we're gonna have a shirt coming out. Maybe I have a shirt saying Certified Chump Sucker Club or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
Let's talk about some of the other talent in PAPW or the wrestled on the independent scene alongside with you. What do you think of House of Pain?
House of Pain is a good tag team. We have House of Pain. There are like some solid workers that can go. You got Nick Payne and Hakim Ali. House of Pain are real good. Don't sleep on them. They're a great tag team. They learned a lot because when I came around, when I started, they came right after me from New York. So they're known around the New York scene, but they learned a lot when they went under Paul Roma. And House of Pain's good. Richard Holliday, I like him. He's good. We have our little disagreements, but he's talented. He got that brain where he could like take that knowledge.
I like him
and
too. I
push
like
it.
both you guys. You guys put on a hell of a match both times. I mean, I loved it.
It was only 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was good.
3 minutes is all you need.
It was good. Listen to me. Sometimes the best matches could be
You're right.
Ultimate Warrior, Honky Tonk Man, SummerSlam 88. People remember it.
You're right.
You don't remember it just for like, oh my God, you guys put on a clinic, an Iron Man match. It was memorable.
Nah,
it
you're
sticks
right.
it sticks
I
in
mean,
your head.
hopefully again we go at it again. It's a long time coming. I mean, think about it. The whole time since PAPW been in existence, me and him never had like a one-on-one match in general, like promoted where we have like that match. So I'm looking forward to having that match like sooner or later. But you know, you got Zachariah Gibbs, who is a rookie. He trained under Paradise Alley, he's taking knowledge too of churning the butter and
Who are
taking
some of
that
the younger
whole
guys
gimmick.
you've seen? I mean, you've been in the business now over a decade. Some of the guys that you assessed, young guys in the business, who do you think deserves an opportunity?
Sammy Diaz. I like Sammy Diaz. Sammy Diaz is good. Dickie Moon. You got
Maybe Dickie Moon.
yeah, I mean, I hate to pull it up, you know, Friday Night Alley fights. We bring in guys. I see a lot of young guys that can go. You know, I mean, they take that knowledge and they put it in the ring and they show it out on Friday Night Alley fights. And Sammy Diaz is one of them. You have Dickie Moon. You have I seen Bobby Orlando a few shows ago. He came down. He's good. You have Mark Adam. He's a good announcer. He's starting to catch on. He's doing those drives. So he's a good announcer also. You have a lot of young talent out there.
You
Guys
want to
are future
bury
of the business.
Mark Adam Haggerty a little bit?
What? I already slapped him up a few times.
You want to bury him?
No,
a
I
little
don't
bit?
want to bury that
I
guy. He
love
already
Mark.
get buried enough. I love him.
We love Mark.
But he get buried enough. He's a good guy. There's so many young talent out there that can go. I just did XWA a few days ago, and JT Dunn, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he's good. I seen him out there, just his knowledge in the back. And he says something to me in the back that had me thinking so many times when I had Friday Night Alley fights or even if I have a match. He had a picture of Ricky Steamboat on the wall. And he told all the young guys, just like, listen, don't go out there and kill yourselves. Just tell a story out there and make it mean something. Just when you do something stupid, just say, what would Ricky Steamboat do? And it was right. Like, what would he do? Like, he wouldn't do nothing crazy. You just sit here and do something that makes sense, that wouldn't, you know, these young guys just try to kill themselves. Don't do that. You know, just go out there and learn the longevity of the business.
I'll tell you a funny story about Ricky Steamboat since you just brought it up. I was backstage at a show, I think it was in 2010, so 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was telling the guys in the back, he goes, guys, fellas, act like it's like you're making love to a woman in there. You just don't want to, you know, go off in the beginning. You got to build it up and build it up. I mean, I hate to use that analogy, but that's what I remember Ricky Steamboat said.
That's the right
and
one.
it's just like, man, it's like you want to make love to the woman, have her down, and do the. And I was like, tell the story, finesse her.
Yeah.
You don't just want to go for it.
Exactly.
Like, so that when you just brought up Ricky Steamboat, like, what would Ricky Steamboat do? That's something that came to mind.
That's the same thing I tell the wife. I was like, it doesn't matter whether it's a 6-minute match, 10 minutes, like you said, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Long as you get those fans invested from the beginning of that minute to like the 3rd or 5th minute, you're like, okay, like you got them. You know, it's like, it makes me feel good for me to go in there and be like, okay, you only got 7 minutes, you got 8. It'd be a plus if I get 15 or 20, because then I could really get you real invested. But for me to have that time to go out there and just let you know, okay, well, I could be here and then get you up to here, and then when the bell ring and you just like you use that example, you just go all over the place. It's just like, you know, it feels good. Ed that out. Just, you know, this is PG, right? I just did that.
I mean,
But
everywhere.
everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, it's just good. no, exactly. So it's just, you know, it makes me feel good to have the fan be like that at the end of the match. And it makes me feel, whether I get paid or whatever for doing an independent show, it makes me feel good as a person to make that fan say, dang, I got my money's worth with that 7 minutes or that 15 minutes. That match was good. You know, they paid their dollar to get entertained. Not to get that one pop where you do that maneuver and then they're quiet and they're sitting there like, okay, well, I'm waiting for this another big thing to happen. No, I want them to sit there and be like, tag, on the edge of their seat, like, oh, man, he just kicked out of that move, you know? And then he almost had him just that quick. And I'm sure the GoPro, y'all guys see 1,000 matches from whether it's the lowest of the low or the up. I know. See, even he's shaking his head. I feel you.
When you mentioned Dan the Man earlier, you guys have the similarities, and I'm going to tell you what they are.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen when we film in other independent shows, and Mike and O'Neal, you guys could, they see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Guy walks around the entire ring. And this is like at a TV tape.
Yes.
Like we're at ECPW. I'm not going to mention anybody by name. There are a lot of great guys. Walks around the entire ring. Mind you, there's only a 28-minute TV show.
Yes.
So you're walking around the whole thing. You're treating it like it's a house show for those people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Dan comes out, looks to the camera, faces the camera. He's not placating to everything else that's going on.
Yes.
And I see the same things with you. You don't just come out and do the same thing like everybody else. Go walking around the ring like a whole lap or
there's no
doing
reason
the
to
same,
do that.
And doing, but we've seen it so many times. Or like somebody taking the microphone, cutting a promo, and their back is to Mike and O'Neal.
Yes.
Mike, O'Neal, how many times does this happen?
A lot.
And we have to edit, we have to do things. And a promoter wouldn't like it. They would say, hey.
I like them earlier, like, hard cameras over here, and what do we get? Ass and back.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing what I take too, where now is a production business now. So if you, back in the day, you had these indie shows, you only had a person with one like VHS camera. Now you got these guys, like y'all come down, y'all have 3 cameras, 4 cameras. You got to show WWE, you got to show MLW, you got to show all these programs that be on TV that you're TV ready. You can't just go in and walk around the ring and waste time, because sometimes you work for WWE and they say, oh, well, your match is 3 minutes. You can't walk around the ring the whole 3 minutes. USA is paying them their time, and then Vince giving you his time. So you go sit there and waste that time walking around the ring. Next thing you know, the match is 1 minute.
Right, don't waste
That's a great analogy, because we have meetings before when we go to the shows, and it's like these guys are going to bust their ass out there. These guys are going to be like, we can't slip up, make a mistake. We'll be in a position. Yeah. So one guy takes the L, the other takes the L, like on the rings. We have the hard camera. We want to make sure we're in position for everything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm doing commentary, or if O'Neal, he's doing the sound, Mike is doing, we have Sam with the camera. We want to make sure that we're captivating everything, the story that you guys are sharing in the ring.
Exactly.
So it's like when guys like you or Dan come to us before the show and say, hey, what do you want me to do, or where do you want me to face? It means something. It's like, because a lot of guys don't do that. And it's not a knock on them. It's not saying that they're bad. It's just a lot of them don't have they don't see ahead, 3 steps ahead the way you or Dan would see.
Exactly.
They don't appreciate their work.
No, I don't say that they don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
I just think it's, they don't see that, the foresight, the way that Marcel sees it.
Right.
It's just, to me, the way I see it is, even when y'all come to the show and y'all say, okay, guys, we're doing the promos before the show. This is the time we're supposed to have them. I want to make sure, like, if you watch the beginning, for example, you see me do the promo. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to win the gauntlet for the gold or whatever. And I say I'm going for 1 title. We all knew from jump, okay, I'm going for the title that I lost. I want to make sure I tell something in that promo where I could swing you this way and say, okay, well, I thought he was going to do it later on because this guy had this title, because believe it or not, the guy that had the IC title, he was in a last man standing match. So I could have just cashed it on him. But for me to sit here and swing y'all this way and say, oh, wait, he's going to get Holliday. That's crazy. Okay, that was a swerve. I think of stuff like that because, some people, you never know who's watching at the end of the day. Right. You don't know who's watching, and they could say, oh, well, who did that story? Who made that up? Who set that up through the whole progress from the beginning of the show to the end? They're like, oh, well, Marcel Williams came with the idea with GoPro, and that's how it pans out because, these guys know what they're doing. They'll say, okay, well, how a recording or a studio crew go out there and run a story like that WWE is supposed to run or Impact's supposed to run. So that makes us look more professional instead of us looking like, little rookies don't know what we're doing. We just sitting here just doing a promo about nothing that has nothing to do with the match, that has something to do with me and a lady from the next night or before or something like that. We've seen all those promos before. So it just, I try to make it, whether the promo, and I don't even sit here and do promos in the mirror, even though workers say to do that. I don't. I just do it try to do it on one take because I think about something and then I forget it by the time I get in front of the camera because that's that shyness. I'll get in front of the camera and be like, okay, well, tonight I'm just going to do this. And the night before I had the whole story playing out for the whole promo. And then I seen y'all say, oh, you only got like 90 seconds. I said, oh, well we want to cut that down.
Marcel, you got to step that game up with WWE because they're a little bit more.
They more, they could work with you because I remember I seen Dean Ambrose do the Stone Cold podcast, and he said it. He was like they used to give him the scripts and stuff, and then he said, "Listen, I cannot do this script. Y'all give me like 15 pages. I can't just do this. Can I just do this one time where I ad lib or try to give me bullet points?" And that's how I am. Give me bullet points. I'll work with it, and I'll throw it in there.
Come more naturally.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I heard something to wrestle with, and what happened when Tony Schiavone said back in the day, they gave you like 5 minutes, and they tell you, okay, well, here go the bullet points, work with this, and that's what I miss because some of those promos was classics because you had Ric Flair go out there and they be like, okay, give him 3 minutes, and he'll go out there and talk about all his Rolexes and stuff, and then the guy tell him cut him off, he'll be like, don't cut me off, and then still keep going. I like stuff like that because there's emotion, right. You know what I'm saying? Him and Dusty Rhodes, even Hogan and Bret Hart. I mean, some people say Bret Hart wasn't a good promo guy, but to me, he was solid because he'll tell a story. I was watching the other day SummerSlam 94 with him and Owen, and that promo where he was saying, like, we shouldn't be fighting. We fighting like caged animals in a cage. You know what I'm saying? We're family. That he's telling a story that he don't want to go do this from jump. From Survivor Series 93, he didn't want to do this. Now they're in a cage. I want to tell stories like that in my promo where you could feel me. Even like with my matches, I want you to feel me where you're like, okay, well, this guy, he's really trying to keep this title. Or he really trying to win this match. Like, he can't beat this guy, but he got to go out here and do this. And I feel that's missing in the business where the story cannot be told. It's just people want to go in there. I go back to it every time. People want to go in there and do 1,000 things. And like you said, walk around the ring and go over the rail and grab a chair and get the fan involved and deal with the fan over here because he heard him say something stupid. Why are you worried about that? At the end of the day, you worried about yourself, trying to get yourself over as just trying to tell that story in the ring and make your opponent look good. And that's what I like to do, make the opponent look good. Because I don't want to go in there and make them look stupid. I don't want to make the people that's filming me look stupid. Because I don't want to sit there in the ring and just do all this stupid stuff. And they're filming me like, why are we sitting here filming this guy? He's doing all these stupid things for like a good 3 minutes. And the match just started. Like, I don't, just like you guys. Y'all put out a product that people pay for that is 100% quality. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure when I go out there in the ring, it's 100% quality.
Thank you, Marcel.
Check
is in the mail, my friend.
Nah,
I love that endorsement.
Pay me.
Got the endorsement from Showtime. I love it.
I don't know, just hearing you speak your feelings and emotions about this, it's very inspiring. I like
Thank
it.
you.
I appreciate it very much. And that leads me to another question. Well, it's a two-parter, I think.
Go for it, Sam.
Anyway. So, what other companies have you wrestled for, and what company would you prefer to work with again the most?
PAPW, obviously. XWA, I just went back there. I wrestled one time for them. I'm trying to go back there on the regular to get noticed more throughout the New England. Did LAW in New York. Legendary Action Wrestling with Frankie Flo. That was a great experience because he gave me the open stage to do things that other places didn't want me to do. Like, he didn't sit here and say, oh, well, I want you to do this, I want you to be that. He gave me the open floor where I could do promos with Dan the Man and just work that out and do stuff like in a radio station to beat up a radio jockey. Just do like stuff that, you know what I'm saying, get myself over.
Right.
And PAPW obviously did that too, but I just want to bring that to other places. XWA is one of them. I'm doing the Monster Factory this Sunday, do the tryout there.
With Danny Cage.
Yeah, with Danny Cage. So I'm trying to expand out more since now I got the open schedule now where I can sit here and do more things, where I can sit here and, you know, go get noticed for somewhere else, you know, start doing more seminars. Because I was kind of iffy about seminars because sometimes I think they're a catch. But
if you get a Jake the Snake Roberts one, you got to go to that one.
Definitely
Oh,
go to
my
that
God.
one.
You talk about the art of the promo.
I mean, I'm open to it. I mean, now, before I was like, I'm going to do a seminar. I paid my dues with Roma and all that stuff, you know, but it's like now people done told me and they try to educate me, do the seminars because it gets you seen by other people. And then you learn new things too.
Seminars are not for fans; they're for the wrestlers.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
now that's why I said now it's different now because now I got an open mind where I'm like, okay, now I can explore to do other things instead of being within that bubble, you know. So I'm trying to get out that bubble.
Yeah. Funny story: Hacksaw Jim Duggan, another friend of our show, we would ask him. Mike and I were like, we're at an independent show with him that we filmed. And we're like, hey, anybody like, you know, I forgot how you said it, Mike. You said that if anybody came like just to talk, because he was just sitting there by himself. He goes, nobody came to ask me anything.
For real?
You're talking about a WWE legend, Hall of Famer, has all these years of wisdom, knows people in WWE. I mean, he still has influence with Vince and the guys working there. Nobody asked him anything.
Wow.
So it's just little things like that, and maybe they did. It's just but Duggan doesn't remember anybody going up to him and saying, "Hey, what'd you think of my match?"
Yeah.
Or you know, just the little nuances that makes you want to make it to that next level. You have a WWE legend, Hall of Famer at your show. Use him to your disposal. You can ask him questions, and he's such a nice guy. I mean, Duggan is one of the nicest wrestlers that we came across. One of the things I wanted to ask you was one of the big questions I wanted to ask. Mm-hmm. Friday night alley fights. How did that come about? What's the vision for it, and where do you see with it in the future?
Well, Friday night alley fight started where it was a tryout. It was a tryout to get some talent that can't be seen because certain times the way Roma runs the school, he wants them to come down and train on the days that they have to work. So at the first time Hakim Ali from the House of Pain started where he was like, let's do a show for December 29th of last year. And he was like, well, you know, let's do a show. Friday and alley fights, whatever. So then I told Roma, I said, well, let me and Nick control it, Nick Payne, because I feel like there's something where it gives people opportunities to come down here and try out. So you could see them, and then they get on bigger shows. That's how that started at first. It's supposed to be a tryout thing for the...
Started like a student show?
Yeah, it started as a student show. Okay. And then after a while, it started getting packed into shows, and it was different. It was different from the bigger shows that PAPW put on. And it just... I started getting emails from other workers. To me, I just didn't want to... It's a free show. So
where could fans watch? Is it on television in Connecticut? Is it on
no, it's on YouTube. You go to YouTube. It's on Friday Night Alley Fights page. And at first, I was kind of iffy about it because there was some politics involved. They didn't think that it was going to draw. They didn't think that it's just going to be like.
Well, let's discuss these politics, Marcel.
Oh, we're going to discuss them.
Intervention.
Put me on the hot seat, okay?
Discuss.
Well, we're not talking anything bad, but like for fans watching, they're interested. They want to know like the ins and outs of like what makes a successful show. Like Friday Night Alley Fights is an upstart. You said it mentioned it's for like initially for students.
It was
Now it's slowly projecting. You have a lot of fans coming now.
Yes.
So what's going on?
It started as a student thing where some people didn't think it was gonna work, where it was gonna be just 5 people there, and it just wasn't gonna progress. But the first night it started, it was packed. It was like standing room only. We had 6 good matches, and before it was just a one show. Then after a while, we started making throughout the year. I wanted to run where it was once a month or twice a month if it was no big shows. Still, I wanted to make it different from the big shows where we rotate talent. I didn't want to sit here and keep using the same talent every show. I'm sure y'all know shows, y'all have the same guy doing the same thing every show, every month. I wanted to sit here and rotate talent. I want to sit here and bring in talent, tell stories, have a little storyline going on into the big shows if we could do that, or keep it there. So, and give people opportunities that don't get opportunities on the bigger shows. Like Nutrius X, y'all probably know him. He's king of paradise there. I just want to like build something. Now, to me, I didn't think it was going to get that big, but it did. I know some of the workers came to me, there's like, it was a work or not. They like, oh, well, we like Friday Night Fights. It's fun. It is fun to me because it's an in and out process. I want the workers to come down there and have fun, wrestle different talent. And
Connecticut is a hot market.
It's a hot market.
This is a WWE home. I mean, it's.
Yep.
Alley Fights done had people from New York come down. You had Corey Dillinger come down one show, and you had a few other work. You had Primal Fear. I forgot their name. They work at the Monster Factory. They came down, and I'm always kind of like within that range where I nervous about it because it is a free show where the workers don't get paid, but it's to help the school.
Building the platform for the guys to make it to the bigger shows.
So I make sure to try to put it on YouTube because the matches are good. It's not like it's just a student match. The matches are good, so I make sure they have their matches so they can put it on YouTube, or I take the matches if GoPro records it, or whether whoever records it, they put it on YouTube. And give them that platform, like you said, to show their stuff and bring it somewhere else.
We've seen some big matches on there. We have Pyramids of Power on there. Sergeant Murray was wrestling. Zachariah Gibbs. I mean, we've had talent on there.
Yeah, you had talent on there. I mean, you had talent from XWA. I had talents that from other promotions that sometimes they had a little beef going on.
So who was the road agent or booker of Friday Night Alley?
Who's the road agent? Booker?
Yeah, who was the one like behind the scenes saying, okay, this match is first, this is second, this was third?
I'm the booker.
Okay.
I hate to take the dirt. I'm the booker with Nick. Nick is the one that get the matches together, to get the finish together, and he helps me with instead of me being by myself running all over the place. Nick Payne helped me out with it. The only reason I took him along with me is because he did shows in New York under his branch, Empire Pro Wrestling. You probably never heard of it, or if you heard of it, you did.
I've heard of it.
You heard of it? So he used that, and I figured he had that mind where he could put the shows together and put matches together. So when I asked Roma, can I do it? I asked him, can I take Nick with me? And he agreed with it. So me and him books the show. What
did it feel like to you that Paul Roma, I mean, you're talking about a guy that had all these years in the business, is giving you this responsibility and trusting you and Nick Payne to, run a show. I mean,
truthfully, I thought you were gonna say no. I'm just gonna be real about it. I thought you were gonna say no.
But he didn't.
Like this guy right here, no, you're not running it. This is for Mario or whatever. But he gave me that chance, and ever since then, it's been booming. I mean, we have fans there. The last 4 shows been packed out the garage door. Hot summer nights, but still it'd be packed and they be entertained. The show is not that long. The show is like an hour and 10 minutes. I'm sure y'all been there. It's like, typical. Y'all know it. It's an hour and 10 minutes, in and out.
Describe a typical Friday for a new fan watching that you want to bring them down to the show.
Typical
what time
Friday,
it starts? How it is?
It's at 662 Cole Avenue, East Haven, Connecticut. It starts at 8:00. Doors open at 7:40. You get 6 matches, sometimes 7. Like I said, it starts from 8. It's done by 9:20. No intermissions.
Is there any food or drinks? Good hot dogs?
There's no food or drinks. The only reason I didn't
you
do
eat
that,
before you come.
Yeah.
Or bring food.
You can bring food too. But the only reason I did that was because there's no intermission. So.
This is the kind of show. Some shows go till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, I gotta go home.
I'm not trying to do that.
I gotta go home.
It's Friday. I'm sure you and the family or the boys want to go out to eat. So I make sure I have the shows between 8 to 9, 10 because it's like, who want to be there all night? Who want to be there all night and deal with a 2
There
to
has
3
to be a
hour
medium.
show?
You want to have a great heart-pounding wrestling show, and at the
Yes.
same time you want to get home at a reasonable hour.
Because sometimes if you think about it, let's for example NXT. NXT is only an hour, so you watch it for an hour. You remember everything on NXT because it's an hour. You know, if you watch Raw for 3 hours, what do you remember out of that?
I don't remember shit.
You don't remember nothing, right? So you're sitting there like, okay, well I just wasted 3 hours of my life. I only seen one segment that I liked, but you remember like 4 segments on that NXT. So I took that NXT, what they do on NXT and WCW Saturday Night, and you know even Mid-South, and I took that and I said, okay, well, what can I do to make it, 6 matches in and out. You enjoy yourself, and you can still enjoy yourself for the rest of the night. You go out to eat, you go out to a club, you go out to the movies. You know, it's done at 9, 10. You got a lot of stuff to do, and it's $5.
I love how you said the old school, because I could tell the element of old school is sprinkled on
Yeah.
because you could tell, because it's not just, okay, we're just going to have all these matches and for no reason. These guys are paired up and that's it. There is a story behind it that's building towards the bigger shows, the casino shows, the other shows that are coming up that month or the following month.
Yeah. And, I mean, the workers are invested, and I appreciate that because, to me, I get nervous about it every time it starts because I'm like, hey, we ain't gonna draw. And maybe this worker don't like this show because he's not getting paid. And I feel him because I'm a worker too. If I go to a show, I'm like, okay, you need to pay me something. I mean, I got older, but now I'll work a show for free if it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a platform for me to get seen by other fans. So that means more for me to get seen by more fans that came into that show. You know, it doesn't matter if I get paid 25 or 50 or 60. To me, I feel like if I go out there and bust my butt, those 10 fans that paid makes me mean more on social media, or they remember me and be like, oh, I want to see him again.
You're going to prove your worth. You're going to make
I don't mind doing that. I mean, some workers did have a problem working for free for alley fights. I respect it because I'm a worker too, so I respect it. I'm not going to get mad. But there's some workers that come down here and they do their thing, they perform, and they perform top tier. And I do get them chances on big shows like Sammy Diaz and Dickie Moon. They're on a casino show this Saturday for Crazy Eights. So it's like there's opportunities out there for workers to get work. And I just want to make that opportunity out there because sometimes I don't get those opportunities. So I want to give other people opportunities.
You've had to pay your dues.
That fly coming
the
through
hell?
running.
This guy he's just coming.
Pay that fly. You know?
He'll spend it all in one place. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Bad fly.
But yeah, I just try to get work. I just seen an interview that y'all did with El Negro. Mm-hmm. Like he had his show that already passed, and he give workers
NYC,
chance.
yeah,
NYC. So it's like he try to give these workers all this chance to the people that don't want to see them. That the promoters try to hide and be like, oh well, they're good.
No took the lollipop from Joey Ryan.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Right
I heard
Well,
about Joey Ryan.
to hear about, but,
I heard one of your guys had the lollipop in his mouth.
And everybody was chanting, "You sick," you know.
Well,
Yeah, it wasn't my. It was Noel. It was
I
Noel.
mean, it's not a lie.
Have you seen him since that lollipop incident? Oh God.
Yeah. They asked him like, if people are asking him while it happened, he's like, "What did it taste like?" He's like, "It tastes like gonorrhea."
Oh no. Yeah. Well.
You don't do that. That's a no-no.
So, back to Friday Night Alley fights. Where do you see it going? Where would you like for it to go?
I like for it to be a mainstay where I want it to succeed. I want it to be one of those shows where they be like, "Dang, I want to see alley fights every Friday" or something like that. I want to make it special. I don't want to do it every Friday. I want to do it like at least twice a month or once a month where it makes it feel special. I don't want to get it watered down. I promote it a lot on Facebook where it gets that special. It's something special. I don't want it where you see these guys 30 times within a month. I want it where, oh, this guy coming down, I wonder who he's facing. And at the time, like I said, it was a tryout show where the PAPW workers don't work on there. But I changed that. Me and Nick changed that where we want to work those shows where we work different people. Like you had the House of Pain versus the Streets. We did that, and I never faced Sammy Diaz before. I faced him on the first show. So it's different matches. You know, you had Sebastian Cage face Matias DiNapoli. That was different. It's like you try to like do stuff different. I try to make it different so I don't make it watered down. So it's matches that you never seen before. And if you do see them again, it's something special. There's some gimmick matches on there we may do. We did a month ago, we did a tag team gauntlet where the winner goes to see House of Pain, face House of Pain at Crazy Ace, which is Zoltan. They won that gauntlet. We did that. We try to do special matches, make it different. You know, we did the King of Paradise tournament. We did a 16-man tournament where Nutrius X won the crown. But it's different. I just want to make it real different than any other show around, whether it's New England or New York. I try to make it real different, fast, and exciting for the fans.
You talk about booking and also as a wrestler. What do you see yourself later on? Do you like booking or do you like wrestling? Like, what do you?
I like the production aspect of it. I like
the behind the scenes.
Yes, I like the behind the
We're turning
scenes.
him, guys.
Oh God, I may end up working for y'all. You never know. But I like the production. I like the lighting and how the entrance look and how to like do the promos or get that story told for later on. I love all that stuff. The booking matches and telling that story within that match and then make it mean something later on down the road. I like building that big match to that big show. So I like doing that. I like wrestling also. I love, don't get that twisted. I like that.
Of course.
You know, it's just longevity-wise, I love the booking aspect of it.
I mean, you can't take the years of pounding on your body so much later on down the road.
Yes.
I mean, as you're getting older, if that's some calling you have for later, maybe it's something to pursue.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're building something with Friday Night Alley Fights, and you should be proud of that. I mean, it is catching on.
I appreciate that.
And
I appreciate
I was
that.
gonna ask if you like actually still saw yourself actually like possibly debuting on WWE or something like that later on.
Later on, hopefully. I mean,
it could be soon, it could be later, whichever you prefer.
I mean, it's gonna be a long road, but you got to work to get there, and it's gonna be a long, hard road. I would love to be there. Truthfully, I mean, I don't even see myself in I like NXT. I like NXT. I want to do that. If I make it to NXT, that makes me feel great because I like that aspect of it.
I'll be your manager, the Egyptian magician.
You come on and do that. You come on and do that.
I like that. Think of the heat we would
I'm going to
get.
use that now.
Use it. Think of the heat we would get, Marcel.
But, I like NXT. I would love to do NXT. I love New Japan. I would love to do New Japan. I like the sport aspect of it where they don't do it as sports entertainment. It's more of a sport where you like the G1. The G1, they got the point system and everything. It's exciting. You
got Lucha Underground on television, New Japan, you got
like
Ring of Honor.
Impact Wrestling now, Ring of Honor, yeah. If I make it to those, I feel like I made it anyway. So if I don't make it, because they're so open, it's open circuit for everything now. So instead of now where everybody wants to be like, okay, well, WWE is this, WWE is that. Now you could go and get seen at ROH. You go now. You don't have to sit here and wait to go to WWE to do the Garden. Now you can do the Garden through ROH. Right. So now there's open channels for everywhere. You know
that door is actually still open when you actually do make it to those places. Yeah. That door to WWE opens up for you a little bit more.
Yes.
They at least unlock the door so you could just jiggle the door handle a little bit.
And you could shut the door on Sam and lock her out.
Probably.
One of the final questions I wanted to ask you, give us a favorite road story or a rib you wanted to share with your fans.
Ribs, I wasn't around.
Is there a lot of ribs on the independent scene?
There's a little bit. It's not as much as they say back in the day. They say they used to have these ribs.
Because we had Paul Roma here. He was, oh my God, it was running rapid in the 80s and WWE in the 90s.
I know y'all hear the comrade stories of Bruce Pritchard where he be talking, and Tony Schiavone talk about the Steiners and stuff. I hear about those ribs, but ribs on the indies is kind of like, they kind of like mellow down. They'll do stuff where they hide your bag somewhere or take your belt or something.
Well, that's boring.
But
Dude, listen to Conrad's podcast. He's a friend of our show.
Yes.
Something to wrestle.
Yes. Well, you tell him I said, hey,
I
like
will.
Your show. But listen to
I'll
it.
call
Now
him
I'm
a
listening
chump
on the way
sucker
home.
next time I talk to him.
And next time when you tell him chump sucker, you tell him where it came from.
All right.
Tell them where it came from,
Trademark.
Marcel Williams.
Any road story you could share?
Road stories, yeah, I mean, I remember that time when I almost ran out of gas one day. We were going to come from upstate New York. I was doing an upstate New York show, and I had this car, and I couldn't find this gas station. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was me, Lucas Sharp, and Eddie Latham at the time. And we was coming from upstate. I was like, we was in these woods, dark woods, going around. We was lost. Our phone going dead. And this was before, like, GPS even got popular. And I'm sitting here looking for a gas station and stuff, and I mean, the E is like right here and the point is like right here. And we like sitting here and this gas station was here and it wasn't even like open. Like it was closed and we were sitting here like, what are we gonna do? Cause if we move this car, we're gonna be stuck in the woods. So what are we gonna do? We had to sleep in this car for like a good 6 hours, wait for this gas station to open. So this guy, I guess, like walking up to the gas station, he's looking like, why are these 3 guys just sleeping in this little car? Like it was like a little clown car. So at the time we had, so we was sitting there waiting, and that was one of the stories that I was like, dang, like we could have ran out of gas. We had to push this car up this hill. It was that, and then it was like, remember, I got a ticket. I got a ticket on that trip too. I got a ticket.
The millennials in this day and age, if their cell phone ran out of juice, they would have been crying.
Yeah, so we didn't have that, nothing. Can't do nothing with our phones
Exactly,
now.
right?
I mean, I can, but yeah, but it's just stories like that.
You have a final word right now for your fans? Where could they see you? You have anything coming up that's...
You can follow me on social media at Showtime Marcel on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find me on Facebook also. I'm going to be doing future XWA events and future PAPW events and trying to get into a Monster Factory and other bigger shows. So you're going to see Showtime Marcel Williams in your near future.
And speaking of Showtime, we're going to try to pry your shyness out
Y'all gonna
here
do
in the
promo,
GoPro
eh?
studios
Oh, Jesus.
in conversations. This is a conversation may say that happened by accident. I'll give
Where's
you a
the
quick-
glasses at?
This just happened by accident where people just wanted to do karaoke. And now it became,
So,
something that we played.
sorry.
Here you go, my friend.
Hey, you give me the mic and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be Showtime.
I'm in
We're going to
trouble.
get down like that with
Oh, Jesus.
Showtime Marcel Williams, folks.
She is in trouble.
She's gonna hide in the bathroom this whole time.
Showtime. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God. When I sing, it don't really matter who it is or how many I decide to kick it with. Long as she can understand how to do it. I'm a man, very healthy. But when I settle down, find a woman to live for.
Still maybe a couple cuties at my door, thinking we could get down like we did before.
It's a duet, guys.
Come on, Marcel.
So what now?
Girl, you know I'm a girl, but I just don't get like that. I just don't down like that. Baby, I'm fine. Baby, you a dime, but I just don't down like that. I don't get down like that. Stand, baby girl, that I'm an only new man. I don't live to crush. Damn. Go ahead. Hey, Showtime Marcel
Williams. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us. For Sam, I'm Andrew. Showtime Marcel Williams.
Hey, say it together. Chump suckers out.
Jump suckers out. Thank you. Good night.
Here, Andy.